It's a better quality with the camera.
Yeah.
And okay, we're gonna switch. We got to make sure we get this. There we go.
So I can't see the.
Now we are live again. Number 3 take. Like, this is supposed to be live. You can't cut and retake it live, but
you can't. We just did.
But we had to have
Twice.
sound. You guys needed sound, and thank you all for tuning in. I see we have some viewers out there, and a lot of people watch later. They go in later and just watch the recording.
Does that mean you can edit it so the later one is
No,
not awful?
Oh yeah, well it'll be from right now when we started and on. All right, so if somebody could message in, all right, somebody got sound now. I hope it was just now and not like when we had other stuff going. But anyways,
all right.
Coming up in the area, April 20th, 420 in the park, Chillicothe, Yaktangi Park, the Pump House Gallery and Lawn. From 11 to 7, there is the Earth Gathering, the gathering of earthly people. And they are doing all sorts of stuff. They're having bands all day long, like crafts, artwork, activities for kids, and all kinds of crazy food. Did you see some of that food they were having?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we eat there every year. So.
Alibaba's of Athens. He's coming.
And it is awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So I've never been to the Earth Gathering. Do they do, like, conservation things and stuff like that, too?
Mostly, I mean, what I've seen of it is just people that have set up down, more like a festival. People are selling things and like there's things for the kids and whatnot and music, but I'm not sure they do a whole lot of, I mean, there are people that give out brochures and on different things like that, but it's not quite as into conserving and that. It's mostly just a way for people to get together and enjoy the nice weather, hopefully, and buy some local things.
Right.
Local people.
If weather permitting, if the weather's bad, they're going to reschedule it the following day.
I think that they did that last year.
Really?
And did it on Sunday, but yeah, go down and support the locals, definitely.
And then after that, at 6 o'clock or 7, it starts at 7 at Gibby's in Circleville. You're going to go up. There's stand-up to cystic fibrosis. Stand-up comedians Ace Allen and Michael Moore. They are doing, they're helping my friend Jamie Jackson with the fundraiser, the Strides for Stacy, from her cousin that passed away a few years ago of cystic fibrosis, which is a lung disease. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's in your lung. It's like a fluid, some kind of extra fluid buildup in your lungs. And I have asthma, and I was like, man, I couldn't imagine it being
that bad,
worse than what I have. And like that's something, and they usually apparently they die young because it's inherited, and you don't live very long with it. But Jamie does every year. She does fundraising, and this is part of it. It's $15 to get in. You get a buffet-style dinner and comedians for the evening. And it's going all to a good cause because 90% of all money raised goes to research, patients, and treatments. And if you want to donate any time to it, you can go to cff.org/great_strides. I'm on it. See, I'm getting better. And then after that, May 19th, Yaktangi Park is the Walk for Cystic Fibrosis, or the Cystic Fibrosis Walk. The Strides for Stacy team, that's their last thing of the year. Each year that they raise, it's all about the walk. That's the main thing. That's why they call it the Strides for Stacy. And you go down there from 1 to 4, and you sign up. I'm sure, crap, I need more information. Jamie came on one time. We called her, and she gave us information. I'd say there's a donation thing with that.
Right.
But you probably get a T-shirt, and if not, it doesn't matter.
True.
It's going for a good cause, and
you can donate at any time.
Yeah, and you're
not even just at the
exercising
walk.
too, right?
Well, yeah, promote that.
Right.
Good deal.
Definitely. Okay, and then, after that, well, the following day, Lancaster Academy of Mixed Martial Arts, Davis Youth Sports, 121 Wiley Avenue, grappling tournament, MMA style. It's in a cage. For beginners to intermediates. There's not going to be any black belts or anything competing in it. It's More for guys just to get experience, new guys to try it out. If you're thinking about cage fighting or something, this would be the thing to try out before you go and get punched at. Go see if you can grapple somebody in there first.
So there's no punching and grappling.
Right, it's all like wrestling with. It's like mercy with the body.
Okay.
Like like you make them quit somehow, make them say mercy, however you can.
But you can't punch them.
No, and there's.
Can you kick them?
No, there's rules.
Can you pinch them?
No pinching, no biting, no eye gouging, no checking the oil.
Don't even.
Things like that. But so within the rules, you make them say mercy, and that's grappling.
Oh, fun.
And then April 27th, a night at the Sugar Shack at OUC. Doors open at 5. It starts at 6. It's got a lot of cool bands like 60s style music.
Yep.
There was something else. Oh, where you could get tickets.
Yes.
Where is that?
At Coffee Central and Central Center, and also at BBB Music, and which is on Water Street, right? I don't know how much they are in advance or at the door. I'm not even sure actually if the price is different for either. It's a huge event though. It's packed every year. It gets bigger. All of the proceeds from the night at the Sugar Shack actually go to the Rock for Tots. So those are both run by the same people, and all of that money goes to the same thing that Rock for Tots goes to, local charities for children. So.
All right. So do you like dress up 60s style? Or
some people do.
It's kind of like a sock hop.
Some people do. I mean, sometimes it says on the flyer that that you can or whatever. I've seen some, not a lot, but I mean, dress however you want. I mean, as long as you're dressed appropriately. So there's food and drinks, alcohol, things like that. Makes it a fun night.
I wore tights to the gas station this evening.
Tights?
Spandex, like long ones for running.
Okay, that's not tights.
Isn't it? Okay, it's
not.
not.
No, tights are what girls wear with dresses. You don't wear tights. And if you do, you don't tell people.
Okay, so if I put shorts over them, would they be tights?
No, I mean, maybe. Somebody probably made fun of you, yes. If that's what you were going for, then you probably got it.
Yeah,
so.
Right. But see, that's where we're getting back at, like, dress how you want.
There you go. Dress how you want. Whatever makes you happy. But, yeah, there'll be some people in 60s stuff and whatever. So, it's just a lot of fun. It's a bunch of people enjoying.
And that's cool music.
It is.
60s is fun.
I didn't know it. I didn't know until I started singing it, but now I love it. So.
All right. And then before that, actually, we forgot Courtney Lewis from Paper City Company. She's going to be on April 23rd with us, 9:30 p.m. on Ustream Live, Blue Wall Podcast. And she owns a T-shirt company that makes T-shirts for old businesses in Chillicothe that are historic.
They're historic to the locals.
Right. The people that grew up,
us,
local businesses that are there no longer.
They're awesome places you missed out on.
I did. I missed out on every one of them. I guarantee it.
Yeah, definitely.
I grew up in Kansas. I didn't grow up around here.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that none of them were ever commercialized. Really, none of them are chains. So no, probably not.
So how did she get the logo? Well, I'm gonna have to ask her. You probably don't know how she got the logos, right?
No, I don't. I mean, I know that she started this company. It's something that she really wanted to do, and she does a great job. The shirts are amazing.
It was a good idea.
They're so soft. I love mine. Absolutely love it more than anything. I wear it all the time. And people around town will stop and they'll be like, "Oh, is that from here?"
Yeah. Are they still open?
No, they just usually they're like, "Is that this local, or is that just a shirt that says the same thing?" I'm like, "No, it's local." So I always tell them where I got it. So you can hit Courtney up anytime. I'm sure she'd love to sell you a shirt.
Yeah, I've seen them. I saw some at Schlegel's. I was getting a coffee.
You need to get one before she comes on the show.
Yeah, Deke has one.
See, you're out.
Maybe she'll bring me one.
Hopefully.
Yeah, or I need to get one. I do need to get one, don't I?
That was your shout out to her if she's paying any attention.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll bring me one.
Maybe gonna bring me a Paper City shirt.
Might be a tier. That might have been a tier.
I could try to work one up. I don't know.
Awesome. Oh.
All right. So, Katy Large, vocalist and strongman competitor.
Yeah, that's me.
Um, which you were just in practice tonight and band,
Yeah.
right? Or is
I
that what you
actually
call it?
I call it band. Yeah, I call it band
You're
practice.
still in band. I got band practice after school.
It's
I
not
can't.
marching band. Nobody makes me wear a feather, but yeah, it's band practice, just like anybody's band practice in a basement.
Right.
That's
It's like this podcast.
that's unfinished. No, an unfinished part of the
Oh.
basement with cement floors,
All right.
just like a bunch of teenagers.
But yeah, yeah. But they're not teenagers.
No, they're not teenagers.
You're actually the youngest in the band. Am I right?
I am the youngest by about 20 years.
What's the name of the band first?
The Weegians?
The Weegians.
Yeah.
By 20 years, you're the youngest?
Yes.
Are you the only female?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I've seen this band. It's great. I love
The pictures.
I love it. Yeah, it's just great.
Katy
Like
and
it's
all these older
and
guys.
these older guys but it works and it's entertaining.
It works
I had
great.
I enjoyed I watched you guys. You were at the feast last year.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remember.
And that was fun. Yeah.
It was fun. They actually they started playing music in the 60s. They've been the Weegians since the 60s. So
Wow.
they started playing, I believe, when they were in like middle school. And so they did like middle school dances back when they had live bands for such things.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a place in town that was called the Sugar Shack. And that's how the night at the Sugar Shack came along.
Oh,
because it's a
okay.
reunion of all the bands
All
and
right.
people that used to play back then. It was apparently an airplane hangar out behind where E.M. Smith Jewelers is now.
The Sugar Shack.
Yeah. And it was
Okay.
like a place for young kids to go and dance and listen to live music. And so they did that back in the 60s and then broke up for about 40 years and had lives. And then Dave Blosser, who runs the night at the Sugar Shack, called him up and said, "We want to get everybody back together. Are you in?" And they realized that they could still play, but they needed someone to sing. So they had a singer before me 1 year, and then she left to have a baby, and they found me.
And they didn't call her back.
Well, she couldn't do the next year because she was,
She's
busy.
being a mom.
She's busy having a baby, so they kind of needed someone to cover several events and things like that. And one of the guitar players goes to my church, and so he found me, and I'm not sure if he actually thought I was going to be interested in singing 60s music with them, but I love it. I had to learn a lot of music.
Right. Well, like I said, it's a great combo. Like it fits in perfect. Like you fit
Yeah.
in with them good.
I try. They're
And
fun.
it's fun.
I have a grandpa, so it works out well. I love those guys. They're wonderful to me. They really are. They're a blast. It's they're like reliving their young days when they get down there in that basement, like making music and stuff. It's hilarious. Yeah, they have a blast.
That's their life right there.
Yeah, it is. They always say 60 and playing rock and roll. They love
Right
it.
on.
So
You also did you sang something out like in something else down there, right? Was that the Idol?
that was Ross County Idol, and that's just something that I do for fun. I've done it for 6 years now. I've competed and it's fun, but it's a little bit hard. Obviously, competition with other people and whatnot. So it's a little stressful.
Right. So you're competing, not
Yeah.
just singing, having fun.
Oh yeah, I mean but I don't know. I guess if you're a singer and you get on stage, like it's fun. When you get up there,
Right.
it's a blast. I
Well,
love to perform. So
Right, and it's
it works out
probably
well.
like a competition of any sort of like.
Oh yeah, it's
you
just
get the
3
nerves,
minutes
and then
of
you
like
get the
s-
adrenaline,
yeah,
and like.
exactly. And somehow you remembered all the words,
And then all of a
got to
sudden,
the end,
yeah.
and it's over, and you didn't know what happened. So
Well, and that goes to show and with like training, you train so much, you don't have to think about no matter what. Like if I'm fighting, I want to train so much, I don't have to think about my next move. I
right,
just
it's
do
already
it.
there.
So
It's the same way with
you got to
music
train in anything.
And it's just, just like tonight, we're doing the show that we're doing at the Sugar Shack we're doing about 60 minutes, and I'll do it all without music. So it's pretty much memorizing every single song, and I don't sing them all as lead, but I sing on every song. So
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe we could do a live something there.
at the Sugar Shack,
Yeah.
that would be cool, but you better find space. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's
Is it in the gym?
yeah, it's in the
gymnasium?
gym. You have to put yourself in the balcony up there.
You have to be somewhere.
and do what you want. But I think there'll be four bands. The Weegians, of course, the Mods, JB, which I think is still JB and the Downshifts, but it's JB and something, and then the Sugar Shack All Stars, which is just a bunch of people that played back then that their bands have all broken up and they kind of formed their own all-star band. So it's yeah, it's quite the event.
It sounds like a big sock hop.
I know how you picture it,
I'm
but just
picturing
picture them
poodle
all.
skirts
Picture them
and-
all at 60 though.
I know, I know that, but I'm picturing like it being packed and they're just like,
Well, there's a bunch of tables, so you don't have to worry about. I mean, there's a
Alright.
big dance floor in the front. There are a bunch of pictures. The Weegens have Facebook page. You can look us up at the Weegens. So
the Norwegians. I
Mm-hmm.
think
the Weegens
I hope I'm on
is a
the-
shoe, by the way, in case anybody
Is
asks you. I did not
a
know this.
shoe?
A Weegen was a type of shoe.
not a brand, a type.
A type, like a loafer type looking thing. I had no idea going into this. I knew it was a duck. That was what I knew, but apparently it's a shoe, and that's where the name came from because they were young and it was cool. Apparently,
The shoe was cool.
I guess,
We're gonna be
yeah.
like we're gonna be the Jordans.
yeah, well, exactly, something like
the
that.
Jays.
The Jays. So that's where it came from, but it's awesome, and they have. I mean, most of the original members still play, and there are a couple that don't. We've had to, add a couple to fill those voids, but those guys all grew up together. So,
So there's 4 guys or 5?
there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 7. One of them lives in Texas, and he comes back to play with us every year. So.
Oh, awesome.
It's a big band. So of like 3 guitar players, a bass player, a keyboardist, and 2 drummers.
2 drummers.
We don't play at the same time, but they switch
Okay.
halfway through. One is also a lead singer
They are
/ backup
60.
singer. The one is a lead singer
No,
/
that was-
backup singer. So yeah. It's not that you couldn't play the whole time. It's just, it's a lot of music to remember the whole time. So
Right.
especially when you're the drummer and you got to keep the beat the whole time. So
Right. Maybe they need some alpha brain.
maybe
It's some supplements. It's for your brain.
I'll ask them.
It helps
I'm sure they'll
your-
kick me out of the band if I do.
It helps. I want to say the word cognitive function or something of your brain.
Uh-huh.
Cognitive.
And now he's a
but
doctor.
Yeah, your cognitive function of your brain, like, and it helps it fire faster, like your connectivity between cells and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
you think sharper and react quicker. Maybe, I don't know.
You don't really know.
Well, I took
99%
it. This is what
sure.
I've heard, and I took it, and I didn't get a very big sample. I only had like a half, like 15-day bottle of it, and so I didn't notice that much. But it was from. They had another thing called Shroom Tech Sport and Alpha Brain, and then New Mood. New Mood has they're like nootropics, I guess. Alpha Brain would be a nootropic, is what that is. It's a supplement for not muscles but brain or
Okay.
Something like that.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not
I also
either.
did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I'm not sure what the answer is.
But I'm not either. But anyways, the Shroom Tech Sport, it's from a mushroom. God, I can't even think of the name of the mushroom now. But I noticed the energy from that, like it's for energy for like pre-workout or something, and it's not it did not feel unnatural at all. It was a really good
Cool.
natural feeling energy, because I'm not a big fan of pre-workout supplements.
Right.
Because they all usually are just filled with caffeine or something stupid that makes people think they work, and
Yeah.
it makes you feel like shit really in the long run.
Take something natural if you have to take
But
something.
yeah,
I
and then they
guess.
had this New Mood that has L-tryptamine and 5-HTP,
Mhm.
and I'd sleep like a baby. I would sleep really good on that. It was
I
good.
bet.
It was good. Which, like 5-HTP, what does that do? Is that like regulates your serotonin or something like that? I don't know.
You're so on your own.
Didn't that sound
I
cool?
don't. Yeah.
I-
I
what
don't
I-
take anything. I don't. I take
Really?
nothing.
I should talk
I
like
just started
more
taking
confident,
fish
like I
oil
know.
because my trainer said, that it would be good for my recovery.
Yeah, I have too.
But other than that, like I don't.
The fish oil, I've taken it off and on, but I've been doing it more steady, and I've noticed that when I wake up and my back hurts or I'm hurting sore, like I take that and it helps. It helps with your joints, but it also is an anti-inflammatory.
Ah, well, I'm only on day 2, so
Well, tell me what you think.
we'll see
like,
what happens. Yeah.
Because you got to make sure you eat
Yeah, it says you
over
have
it,
to take it
or
with
you're gonna
food.
burp up and like taste fish or like.
Okay, that's gross. Yeah.
But you do. It tastes like you ate
Well,
tuna or something.
I've only taken it with food because I'm a girl, so I read directions and I do what they say.
Oh,
So
it says you have to take it with
it
food.
says,
Oh,
yeah, well recommended, obviously, to
yeah,
take with a meal.
because you don't want to burp and taste fish.
Well, I don't know why. I just figured maybe it'd make you sick or something, like medicines that tell you to take them with
Well,
food. So
maybe.
I didn't want to try it out.
But I have noticed that it does help with like the soreness and joints and stuff.
Good, because I'm always sore.
Yeah, I'd say. And speaking of being sore, you're sore because you do the strongman stuff.
Yeah, the strongman stuff.
So even the girls are called man.
Well, now that is a personal preference. I hear lots of women say
Strong
I'm a
woman.
strong woman, but the way I see it is that the sport is not gender specific. The sport is called strongman. That's
It's just the
that's
sport
its
name,
name.
right.
That's what it's called. So I just usually
I'm
tell people,
strongman female competitor.
yeah, or I usually say that I'm a women's strongman.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just depends, but there are lots of women out there that say that I'm a strong woman or whatever, which is fine. They are. I mean, legitimately, that's what they do. But the sport isn't gender specific. All competitions are called strongman competitions. So
Right, but women compete against women though, right?
right, yes, and in their weight classes. So that's how it works.
And how long have you been competing in that?
I have been training and competing for almost a year now. I've been at my gym and doing other things for about 2 years. Well, almost 3 years now. But I just started strongman training a year ago, actually. So
Just a year ago.
yeah,
So how many competitions have you done?
I've done two. I try to only compete during the summer. That way, I have a specific off time to get stronger and things like that. I mean, there are competitions all year round. You could go to a competition every other weekend if you wanted to, but you're not gaining anything by doing that because you're constantly competing and recovering, competing and recovering.
Right.
So I try to take off at least through the winter, pack on some weight, and just get stronger, get as strong as I can. So my next contest will be on the 15th of June, and that is at Columbus State. It's actually called the Cougar Strength Challenge, and it is all the proceeds from that, I believe, go to the athletics at Columbus State. So
Okay, cool. That's June what?
15th.
You're talking about packing on weight.
Yeah,
So you
get as
just
fat as I can.
That's what okay, that's what I was checking.
I
with,
mean,
like-
I don't obviously I'm still working out, 5 days a week, so pretty much allows me to eat whatever I want. But I tried this year. My goal was 10 pounds, gain 10 pounds through the winter, which was really stressful to have someone look at me and say, I want you to gain a bunch of weight over the winter time. And because, as women, we don't like to do that at all, ever.
Right,
So, but, you just wear hoodies or whatever. It's winter time, so no one really notices, I guess. But 10 pounds was my goal to gain
So
and then lose.
okay, kind of 10 pounds in fat, and you're gonna convert
Well,
that to muscle, or
Just 10 pounds altogether, no matter what. Just because, the bigger you are, it helps you. It helps you build muscle. It helps you be a little bit stronger. And then once you build that strength and that muscle, you can cut the weight to get back down to your weight class. So it's just, I mean, obviously, bigger people are stronger to start. So it doesn't matter if it's muscle or fat. Eventually, I'm gonna lose whatever fat I have and try to convert as much as I can to muscle. But it does help me to be stronger. Definitely get that little extra weight on you and get a couple more pounds on the bar. So
right? And then, do you have weight classes when you
Yes.
compete?
yeah, the women have 3 written weight classes right now. Lightweight, which is 140 and under, middleweight, which is 141 to 165, and heavyweight, which is 166 and over. So, and then the men's classes, there are more. There's, 175, 200, 231. I think there's 275. Then there's 300 and 300 plus, which is the heavyweights. So there are a lot of weight classes, and there aren't always every weight class at every event that you go to, just because there aren't, sometimes there aren't enough people to fill it. So, and you can't compete against yourself. So
Right.
sometimes they have to combine weight classes. It does happen at smaller events you have that, especially in the women's, because women's strongman isn't as popular.
Yeah.
People have only seen one type of strongman, right? ESPN, World's
Right.
Strongest Man.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
And
There's no little women running around.
Mario Pujanowski.
Really? Is that the one you came up with?
That's
Brian Shaw?
See, I
He's
don't watch it,
American.
but
Brian Shaw is American.
I think I've heard that name. I've watched it. I
He
mean,
does the Glad
occasionally.
commercial with the spaghetti sauce in the bag.
I have not seen that one.
I know it's so funny, but it's like it's a Ziploc commercial or something.
Probably
I don't know
Ziploc.
what it is.
It's got to be something extreme.
It is. It's something that's super strong, and Brian Shaw's there to show you how to close a plastic baggie or something.
Or it's probably like his grip and it's
Oh,
withstanding.
it's actually
like,
him. How much he can hold compared to how much spaghetti sauce he can hold compared to how much the Ziploc bag can hold, and obviously he loses, and Ziploc is stronger than Brian Shaw, but I don't see it. But yeah, he was the world's strongest man, I believe, last year. Derek Poundstone, he's from up in Columbus. He's a world's strongest man also. He's a cop up there, actually.
Right.
So
all right, you've been doing this a year and a half?
the strongman training and competing I've been doing for almost a year now. It'll be a year on the 1st of May, actually.
All right, what did you do anything before that?
Yeah, Russian kettlebell for 2 years.
Okay, is there competitions?
There
Or you
are,
were
but
just-
I just did it as a training. I mean, I just did it to stay in shape, but kettlebell training I believe is one of the best types of strength and cardio
Yeah.
trainings that you can do. It's insane.
It absolutely is. It's
Yeah.
a full body,
All the time.
and your complete body is working in one motion
With
together.
strength. So it's not just like when you're doing like elliptical, obviously is a full body workout, but there's no weight except for your own. So
Right.
Add-
Kettlebells or kettlebells, kettleballs.
those two also.
Kettlebells are amazing. Like it's a great workout.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. We actually we have a kettlebell class. You know, some people do Zumba. We do kettlebell, so
Right.
at the gym. So it's awesome. That's how I started. My best friend's husband owns the gym, and a couple years ago she was doing it and asked me if I wanted to try, and I pretty much was like, I don't like to go to classes, you know.
For the kettlebell.
Yeah,
the thing you
she had
started.
asked me about doing that, and I just kind of didn't want to do it because I just thought like I don't want to do a class at a gym type thing, and you know, if you make it through the first week, 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if you can survive the first week, and I'm gonna tell you, like, you won't be able to pick up your cell phone after the first week. But
Right, yeah.
if you can survive it and come back, it's amazing.
That's the biggest problem with people. Like, they go into it, for one, people that get back into it, they overdo it the first time. But people just starting out, they try to keep up with people, but they get too sore. And it doesn't matter, you're going to be sore, but then they don't come back. And then they wait too long to come back. And then you're starting all over again.
Oh yeah, that really is the worst part.
The first time, that's the worst one. That's going to be the worst one.
My dad came and tried it once, and he literally couldn't barely
And he
feed
didn't come
himself.
back?
Well, his job doesn't really allow him to do that because he works Southern Swing, so he can't come to every class. But he did it like once or twice, and he couldn't barely feed himself the next day because he couldn't move his arms. But our kettlebell class is designed from beginner to advanced all in the same class. And
You just go off your weight, the weight that
the
you're
weights
using.
that you start at, yeah. And everybody obviously can do the same exercises just at their own pace. They're a rep ranges. Like maybe you can only do 3, maybe somebody else can do 15, but you're still doing the same workout. And so the gym owner Ryan Minnie has put together a great kettlebell class, a great program for that. So
The gym of...
Primal Training Studio on Park Street, 250 Park Street. So
All right. So you went in and you're taking the Russian kettlebell class.
Yeah.
And then
hanging out with my
They're
friends.
doing this other training in there.
Ryan is a competitive strongman, and I had always known that, knowing him and knowing his wife and things, that he had always been involved in that. And we had kind of discussed it a little bit, just off and on type of thing, doing it. And last April just kind of really hit me that was something I was going to do, and it was going to take up every single moment of my life.
Your
from
free
here.
time,
Yes,
like, that's gotta go to
forever.
that.
And it is. It's I don't have. Apparently, the ruling is if you're a competitive athlete, that is your free time. Like that's what you do.
That's
You don't get it. That's it.
that's kind of true.
Like what about my life? This is your life. You know, you don't get any other. So
Yeah, that's very true.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I have goals, so I
Right.
don't mind being competitive.
As long as
athlete.
that's what you like, and I mean,
I
that's
loved that kind of stuff in high school. You compete, you know, you're in sports and stuff.
right, and it's hard
then,
to find.
And then you get older, and it's like, well, now what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
Bowl?
exactly.
No.
Right, right. Golf, like I'm not ready to wind it down that much, but you know, like, but you know, like golf, it sucks walking 18
Well,
holes,
yeah.
but it's not like I'm still.
Well, I
into
wound
that.
it up. I did track in high
Right.
school, and now it's definitely wound upward.
I think I wound up too, but I'm not ready to wind down. But yeah, it's definitely I'm not ready to golf yet.
But
like,
yeah,
it's not as
so-
intense.
But
So-
that's how it started. I just decided that that was something I was going to do, and he had obviously been training himself, and of course, you know, had been around hundreds of strongmen and things like that, and there are some really great places up in Columbus, and he has friends all over the place, and he went to the University of Idaho, and that's where he got his degree, and he's awesome. Like he's a great trainer. Trains himself, trains me. We have actually a teen strongman at our gym.
What's the team called?
Teen.
Oh,
A
teen.
teen.
Oh, a teen.
We have
Really?
a teen. Yeah, we have a teen. There are teen weight classes too. I guess I never think about it because I'm not one of them. But the
Right.
teens have a lightweight and a heavyweight.
What are those weights?
I'm not sure. I believe that the heavyweights are probably maybe 300 plus, maybe 250 plus might be the heavyweights. And then
What teen? Like what age teen?
19.
Oh, 19.
19's the oldest, and that's it.
18, 19.
Well, I mean, they go all the way down to anybody 16, 17, 18, 19. As long as you're still in your teen years, then I mean, you just have to obviously have parents' permission on your
Right.
when you sign your applications and things like that to compete. So,
So the events you do the yoke. Or-
well, it's always different. Now there are the North American Strongman.
Wait, let me see if I did my research
Okay,
right.
go ahead. Throw some
Right.
out there.
I have yoke,
Mhm.
leg press, bust pulls.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, deadlift, rock lift, which is probably
Rock-
the Atlas Stone.
Atlas Stone,
This
yeah.
is something I knew
Yeah.
that, and then power stairs. I don't know what.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. My research sucks.
Power stairs, like staring
Yeah.
contests, or like we're gonna run up and
no,
down.
like some kind of stairs, I assume. But do you carry weights upstairs? I don't know. Probably.
No,
I don't know. I should have wrote down where I found
no,
it.
that's funny that I've never heard of that one before. The North American Strongman Association, which is run by Dion and Willie
NASA?
Wessel.
No.
Oh,
Is it NASA?
NAS, North American Strongman.
Association.
Well, North American Strongman. So the NAS, that's what we
NAS,
call
oh,
them. The
okay.
NAS.
The NOS.
They run it, and there are lots of sanctioned events. There are other events. People put on strongman competitions all the time and do crazy, feats of strength. But there are, oh my goodness, I couldn't even name the amount of events that are actually sanctioned. But as far as the ones that I trained for and the ones that I've done, the yoke obviously is one. It's
And
the
what's the
worst
yoke?
one. It's the worst. It's awful. It is it's an iron frame, like it's flat on the bottom, and it's got two iron bars and an iron bar that goes across the top, and the weights get loaded usually either on the sides at the bottom or on the tops at the bottom, and you pick it up like this and hold it at the sides and walk with it.
Okay.
The
Oh,
bar
you
goes
reach-
across your shoulders. You hold onto the bar. You hold on the bars at the sides. The bar goes across your
So,
shoulders.
but the weights are on the
The weights are
ground.
at the
They're
bottom.
lower.
yeah, the weight is low, so
So you kind of squat up, or get under it and squat up.
Yep,
or-
and then walk. Yep. And there are different distances, and it's for time and things like that. And different contests allow a different amount of drops, and things like that. You can drop it once or
Oh.
unlimited. It just depends on what level of competition you're at, because they're all different. There are different levels. And of course, the levels depend on how many places get a bid to nationals.
Does that go for time or a distance?
Both, obviously. If you're
right.
if you get to the end, you want to be the fastest. If you don't get the end, they measure
What
your
do you go
distance.
down and back something? Or-
Usually you only go down with the yoke, and it can. I mean, the distances just vary: 60 feet, 100 feet, and then sometimes people use it in a medley where like you'll go down with the yoke, turn around, grab the farmer's handles, on each side, pick them up and carry them back, or drag a sled back, or push a sled back, or something like that. But the yoke is the all-time worst. It's awful. It's hurts your neck and your shoulders and everything else. So.
And then you have, what was the next one? I'd say it's like, it probably doesn't have a pad. It's just like a squat
Some
bar.
people have a pad. Mine does not have a pad, and the bar is like a regular size bar, not like a big thick bar like that goes across the back. So it's super painful.
When you go to a competition, you said that you don't always use all of the ones they have.
No, you always know beforehand.
You do know, though,
Yeah,
what
there are
you're gonna be-
registrations for every contest on the NAS website, and they say the events that they're going to do, the weights they're going to do them at.
Wouldn't it be crazier if you show up and you don't know which ones?
Oh, well, you'd be so surprised how many times you show up and somebody's like, oh, by the way, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. And you're like, okay, well, I'm glad I trained for that other one for so long.
That's why
I'm
you
just
train
gonna win
hard,
it.
though. But
Yeah,
like, I mean,
pretty much. So
you want to be ready for anything, I guess.
I've actually, the 2 contests that I did not even have a yoke in them, thank God. But I still train it at the gym all the time. So
Right.
you don't do yoke unless you're competing in strongman. It's not a fun training for anyone. It's just painful. There are so many other things you could do besides that to get
It's
this.
painful on your neck.
Oh,
when
it's painful on your neck, your legs.
or just muscle wise.
The first thing that I learned is that the frame of the yoke is just wide enough that I can barely reach out straight with my arms
to grab
it, so I can't like flex my shoulders and things
To-
as
oh,
real
right, to
to
roll your-
help with the bar.
roll your traps
so
up
I
a little
really
bit.
I've had to do a lot of accessory. There've been a lot of shrugs.
Yeah,
there've been a lot of shrugs lately to get that little extra muscle because it's hard to stretch your arms out all the way and then flex.
or roll your shoulders at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're really doing.
It's,
is
it's obviously it's a little easier. Guys are a little bit bigger, and most of the strongmen obviously are a lot bigger than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing a lot of upper body accessory training lately.
All
but
right. What's after the yoke? What would be the next one?
oh my
another-
goodness, another one that I've the log press. That is probably my
And
favorite.
it's a log with handles in it, right?
And sometimes it's not. Sometimes
Sometimes
it's a metal log. The log that I use and train with is
but it still has handles in the middle.
Yeah, the handles are this way instead of a bar this way. They're up in the center of it, and log clean and press pretty much.
So you clean.
it, press it over your head. Yep.
And they say yes, or something. And
yeah, they give you a down signal usually, and some depending on the competition that you do, you could do last man standing where the weight goes up and then you fall out, or you could do like you have 1 minute to do as many as you can. So there are some that for reps and some that are last man standing.
Okay.
Either way, you have like 1 minute.
Like reps wise, how like you do so many reps?
No, you take it down, clean and press every time.
Or okay, so you clean press.
Drop it to the floor, clean and press it again.
Oh, all
clean
the way to the floor
yeah,
each time.
usually it's on something, so it's probably like at your calves. It's not usually all the way to the ground, sitting on tire or something, so you don't have to grab it all the way off the ground again. But it just depends. But then the last man standing, you could start out at one weight and go up from there, just as people join in and fall out.
Oh, so like they're trying to keep up with the highest weight?
Well, you would come in at whatever your weight is, like, for girls and things like that, you're looking at lower weights coming in at like 110 or 120 or whatever. And so you would do 110, call would be good, you'd be done for that time until it went up to 120. You come back around and do it again. You have 1 minute to do it each time. You have 1 minute to get the clean and press in. So, like I said, there are lots of different rules and regulations for each meet. And so, as long as
really?
You don't have to do everything the same. It does vary.
That's interesting. Like, there's not a universal.
There are a lot of rules, but there are just different ways to compete. And what everybody is looking to do is to be as close to whatever is going to be at nationals that year, because everybody wants to qualify and everybody wants to go, and that's where the heaviest weights are going to be. So that's the goal.
All right. What's another one?
The Atlas stones, the rocks.
Right,
you
the
spoke.
rock. I knew that it was probably Atlas stone, but it said rock lift wherever the hell I was looking at. I
Well,
don't
there
know.
are different types because there is the Atlas stone, which of course is the big cement ball that you
Right.
put over. Sometimes you load them onto heights.
Are there standard weights of those?
Well, it just depends on how you look at it. I mean, I've done all different weights at competitions. You're more looking at the diameter, like a 15.5-inch stone.
Which would weigh so much.
Right.
But you're looking at. All
I
right.
have I've lifted stones at that diameter that were 135. I have one in my gym that's 150 at that same size. So it just depends.
And
Depends on.
you're lifting over a height.
There are options. So you're either are putting it over a bar, or you're loading it onto a platform. And sometimes there are medleys where the ball's heavier, goes on a lower platform, and then it gets lighter as it goes higher, or it's the same weight every time, or, in different heights.
Or it's all level, but it just gets heavier as you go, maybe.
Yep.
The rock lift might have been where they carry that big rock and they walk.
It's a Husafell stone.
Or whatever.
It's,
Am I right? There's something
it's
like
actually
that.
a Viking term, and
Really?
and my trainer would be so proud of me if I could remember exactly what it is.
You got
But it has
this.
to do with like how far you could carry it, depended upon like where you fell in the boat rankings of with like the Vikings and things like
So
that.
they get off the boat.
Strongman is so old that I mean it's just all these things are so old. But
Is it from Vikings all or just that rock one?
No, not at all. That's just the stone, and it's shaped like the Superman emblem. So
Right.
if you're picturing it, that's what it looks like. It's a huge cement stone shaped like the Superman emblem.
Yes.
And it sucks. It's heavy and awkward, and it's all about grip strength. I mean, you train grip all the time just to hang on to stuff. So
they like the Vikings landed
it
on a
has
beach.
something to do with like how they get into what they do, like the ones that are on ships and that did all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was just like the military has tests and stuff like that. Was how they decided.
This is what I'm
This
picturing.
is like how they decided how you did it, and I have no idea. And Ryan will probably kill me
No,
because
I
he'll be
know
like,
it.
"You're so wrong. You're so totally wrong."
I got it right here, Ryan. This is what happened. The Vikings, they land on a beach. There's a little dispute over seniority on the boat. And they're beefing up on the beach, and they're like, we're not going to fight, but whoever can carry that stone up that hill
It's called like
first
a
or something.
stirker or a half stirker or something. Like that's how how far you can go. Or like I said, I'm clueless at this point in time.
Really?
I just
That's
remember
interesting,
like
though.
when we got the stone, it was like a huge deal. Like it's an awesome thing apparently to have, and ours is 200 pounds, so I just stare at it. I'm just gonna probably use it as a gravestone because
It's 200 pounds.
because it's 200 pounds, and I can't imagine just ever trying to pick it up.
So 200 pounds is beyond your limit.
200 pounds of cement shaped like a Superman. Well, the thing is, when it's sitting on the ground and it's on its tiny little base bottom, and you go to wrap your arms around it, you're squatted down to pick it up, it immediately falls forward. And so you have to get it up off the ground, pull it back into you, get up onto your feet, and then hang on to it, obviously, and start moving. So
Right.
I mean,
And
you are more than
can't-
welcome to try this out.
You can't get around it enough to lock your hands.
No.
You're just grabbing it.
And
right?
I don't
Like,
even think if you
"Rrr."
could, you're allowed. Actually, I think that
That
there's
might be not allowed.
And I'm not sure that you can because of the thickness of it on the sides where it would hit you on the
Right.
bicep.
I've never seen the guys
Like,
they're like out here. Those big
Well,
guys are like. "Rrr."
The stones obviously get bigger the bigger the guys are, but like I said, we have several of them in our gym, and I think that we have one that's 300 pounds. It's
Do
like
you make
8
those?
Yeah,
I know you
have,
make the balls, right?
We have a mold.
Or the
yeah.
Atlas
Well,
stones.
people can buy them obviously, but we have a mold that we bought from Slater's Hardware in Lancaster, and because Steve Slater down there has a huge underground strongman. He made our logs, and he's amazing. He really is.
He makes equipment or
he makes
tools.
the Australian oak, that the big huge giant log that the guys use at the Arnold that they lift. That's his.
Okay.
He does that.
So
and he's out of Lancaster.
He has molds, and you bought a mold.
Yeah, he
They bought
sells
a mold.
molds, and so we bought a mold, and we gave Atlas stones away at our Frankfurt Strongest Man competition to the winners. which is really hard to get home when somebody gives you a 200-pound Atlas stone.
Right.
But then you have one to train with because not everybody has one. So,
Right. Yeah.
but we have the molds, so we make our own.
That's how I found out where your gym was. I was down that way, and
You saw them doing pottery outside.
well, I saw tires. I saw this door open, and I saw tires, and I saw these guys like messing around with concrete, and then I saw a ball, like,
Yeah,
and they were like
stone.
rubbing it down or something. And I was like,
Yeah,
"What?"
smoothing it
I
out.
was like, that looks like an Atlas like stone or
Yeah.
like one of those.
You can
And
find us in the
and
garage.
then like the
there.
next time I came by, I looked and I saw the sign on the door, and I was
Yep.
like, oh, it makes all sense now. Like I knew
What are
what
those
was going
crazy
on.
guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were probably making them because those are the ones we gave away at the contest, and we had to make like 20.
Oh.
So
wow.
they were everywhere. There was like giant pool balls in in the gym.
So do you have one mold or several size molds?
I think that we have. I think that we have several size molds, and I know that there are ways to put things inside them to make the stones lighter and things like that. But I believe that we have
Oh,
more-
like to make it hollow.
right to
or
make it
something.
lighter. Yeah.
Right.
They use like rebar and foam type things, and
Yeah.
I don't think that we've ever done it because we just have the different sizes to do it with, and I think we have 3 of them, so that works for us.
What's the 15 inches? Is that the smallest
15
diameter?
and 15 and a half. I've seen smaller, but I don't know why you'd want to lift anything smaller than that because you're just preventing yourself from.
Right.
I mean, it's all about hanging on
15
to it.
and a half. That's like that, right?
No, that's like as far as I can reach my arms.
Oh, it's that big?
Yeah, as far as I can get my arms around. I can get my hands together on the other side of it like this when I'm doing it.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
15 and a half inches around. Well, I mean,
How
yeah,
much does that weigh, do you think?
mine's 150 pounds.
For a 15 and a half?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then we've got ones that go up from there. We have like a 20-inch stone, which is just, we used red concrete. We used concrete dye when we did it. So it looks like Mars. It
Right.
does. It's just a giant,
Mars.
and I have no idea how much it weighs. I use it to sit on when I'm in there because I just,
You're not going to be picking it
I'm
up.
never picking it up anytime soon. My goal is eventually to do so, but we'll see what happens.
All right, is deadlift? Yeah,
There are lots of deadlifts.
like they're deadlifting
Tons.
Volkswagens.
Volkswagens, yeah.
Volkswagens.
It's called the car deadlift. Not everybody does that. It's just an apparatus that they use on a car. Or sometimes they make them to resemble, like for me, obviously, I'm not deadlifting a car. So they make something that kind of looks like the same that you can put weight on and do it that way. I've done just regular deadlift 18 inches because most contests are deadlift from 18 inches. Like powerlifting, they deadlift from the floor.
Right.
We deadlift from 18 inches. So
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just the rules. Just, I mean,
Couldn't you do more weight that way?
Oh, I'm sure that you could. It just depends.
I would think, because like deadlift, like
Yeah,
the
I mean, you
first
could
part down
obviously
there is
you'd obviously do
hardest.
more weight, but at the same time, I mean, you're just upping the weight. Like the weights that you start at are obviously harder and higher. And I've done rickshaw deadlift too, which is like the little frame that has the handles on the sides that you stand up with. The weights go on the sides of it, and it's like a U shape pretty much. And you just pick it up and sit it down. And deadlift is usually, in the contests that I've done, it's been 1 minute. 1 minute, as many reps as you can. They give you the down signal. So, and then I've seen them do last man standing also, where it's just max, as much as you can possibly get up.
Until you can't do it.
So you can't do it anymore. And the contest that I'm doing in June is going to have the that car deadlift apparatus type thing of evilness. And so I think it ends up being the women's lightweight, I think deadlift is 372 pounds. So should be fun.
372.
Because the apparatus weighs 122 pounds.
From 18 inches?
Well, I haven't seen this thing yet. It's some contraption that, the handles obviously are going to be higher. I mean, they're not going to be at the ground because it's going to have handles. And it's built, so they're going to be up at a certain height. I don't know how high. You're going to have to bend down, obviously, to get to them.
It always reminds me of a shrug machine.
Yeah.
Sort of like how that would work.
Yeah, just don't shrug, though.
Right,
Just
yeah, you're not going to shrug it.
Just hang on and stand up, pretty much. But it'll be, I've heard that it's hard. The guy that's running the contest said that it sucks. So
Really?
372 is a lot.
Yeah.
for a 140-pound girl.
Well, yeah, it is.
That's a lot, and a lot of it has to do with grip strength. Train grip all the time.
How do you train your grip?
We have a lot of just different things that we've purchased from a company called Zornex mostly, and they're just like roller handles that you put weights on, balls that you pick up. I mean, all kinds of different.
Have you ever done like? Have you seen like a bucket of rice or a barrel of rice, and you go down like that? Like you start working your hand in like that until you get
No,
down to your elbow.
that's like a ghetto
Because
way to
like,
do it.
yeah,
That works.
jujitsu, they do that. Like, because
Grip is a
you're
big
grabbing
thing,
that gi
yeah.
a lot. Even in regular fighting and stuff, you're
Yep.
grabbing. You want to go grip.
Yep.
And punching wise, like they say, like the harder your grip, which means the tighter your fist could go and be harder and more solid.
Well, we
Punching power
have
wise.
like what we call roller, which is something that they all go onto like, I don't even know how to explain it. The weights go down on this like pole thing, and it has a hook at the top, and you put whatever type of
And
grip
you
you
roll
want
the
to
rope?
use. But this one is just a roller, and so it constantly spins. You can't like wrap your hand around and get a grip because it spins in the thing. So your hands are always on top of the roller constantly. And then we have like the iron, like the ball that you just grab a hold of and pick up because the weights are on something at the bottom. So you obviously can change weights. We have like a box. It's like shaped like this, and you literally just put your hand on it and try to pick it
A
up.
little heavy. It's heavy though, like steel or something.
Well,
or-
I think that they're all made of iron. You just add the weight to the apparatus that's at the bottom. You just put as much weight on,
Oh,
and
but
then
you
and then
grab-
hook it on, whatever kind
Oh,
of.
they're all in. Okay.
And
got
then you just hook on whichever one you're going to use. And then the other one that we have is just a finger grip type thing, and it's like shaped just like this, pretty much. And you just put your fingers over it and try to pick it. It's so hard. It's so.
Right. So you
but it's
need
great.
you need that grip because you're lifting heavy weights and you're you're
And
moving
you
around.
use
You
it
got to
for
hold it.
everything. I mean, you don't even think about the fact that. I mean, I notice it most with deadlift. How tight can I hang onto the bar and get it off the ground? You know, because a lot of that is grip. It's not so much how strong you really are, but if you can't hold on to it on the way up, then
Right.
that's a big deal. So I found that out tonight. I'm all torn up.
Oh, you're
tonight.
training tonight.
I did deadlift. Yeah, I did deadlift tonight. So.
Is that all the lifts they have? Or is there more?
Oh God, there's a million more.
Oh, there's a million more.
Oh my gosh, we do tire flip is one of them, usually for distance. So I've pulled trucks. We've done there's axle clean and press, which is an axle's 2 inches around, clean and press. They have regular bars that you can clean and press. I mean, you see the guys, all the medleys. So there's, like I said, you've got the yoke, you've got sleds, you've got farmers carries, you've got front holds where you just hold the plate out in front of you like this. There's just, I mean,
Or do like say you're doing a deadlifting a car or whatever. Do they make the grip part that you hold, isn't it bigger?
just depends.
Like
They're all different. Everything's different. So it just depends on the contest that you're going to do. Like the rickshaw machine that is like the U shape that has the handles on the side, like the one that we have in our gym has a regular size like bar handle in the center, but then on the outside spinning it has like a 2-inch and a 3-inch. So you can pick whichever one you obviously want to use. And I mean, it's a good way to train, definitely. So it just depends, like I said, the car deadlift that I'm going to do, I'm not sure. I think the handles are probably 2 inches just to make it harder. So we'll see if I get my little tiny hands around it.
Work your grip.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but yeah, there's, a ton of stuff that they do. The Apollon's wheel that is like the machine that comes out of the center. It's on a bar, and you like pick it up at the end and carry it around, and just crazy. The Monster Bell, which is how it all kind of started. I'm sure you've seen pictures of guys in the circus picking up the giant dumbbell up over their head. It's big on each end. It's called a Monster Bell.
World's strongest man.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a circus.
Well, that's what they called the circus guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was the world's right. Exactly. He was a circus freak back then. Now he's just some normal guy picking up stuff. But yeah, that's exactly. It's called a Monster Bell.
And wasn't it funny? Like those guys always had the same body build. Like they had a big
They're
belly,
chubby.
and like,
Well,
and
I'm
then
gonna tell
they
you right
went
now,
like,
world's strongest man may be really, really strong, but I mean those guys are big guys, scary big guys. I mean,
yeah.
definitely
So
talking
you don't
huge.
have to. You don't really have to watch what you eat.
I do. I have to stay in my weight class.
Okay,
Definitely.
what's your weight class?
I'm a lightweight, so 140.
You're up to
Up
140
to
and under.
140. Yes. So, and to benefit yourself, you just, try to stay as close to that as you can.
Right. How do you? Okay, when you weigh in, is it right before the event starts?
Sometimes they have weigh-ins. They have early weigh-ins like the night before. Sometimes you can do either. There's always the morning of, but if you're there, like if you live there or whatever, you can weigh in the night before and then
Yeah.
just chow down.
That's
Especially, I mean, for guys, because guys are, most guys are trying to cut lots of weight, and I mean, it's just different. Some guys come right in. They're always the heavyweights. Obviously, they don't care. They're heavy and they don't even get weighed in usually at the meets because of break the scale. So, but we try to. I usually don't eat a lot either before I compete because I'm like, all nervous and stuff, and
Oh yeah, like
so
yeah.
I don't want to eat a ton of food. But I
You
try to
be
get,
on the pot.
I try to get some carbs just because I don't want to throw up. Like I'm about to lift this really heavy weight. The last thing I want to do is like throw up in the middle of it.
Right.
So
You'd probably just want to eat lightly
I
throughout the
do.
day of competition.
Just try to keep something in your stomach, and of course you're drinking lots of water and stuff like that, so it just depends. But I try to stay as close to 140 as possible when I compete, and
So
so
do you cut weight? Have you had to?
I do this year.
How,
Officially, since Ryan made me gain all that weight over the
all
winter.
right. How do you plan on
So,
doing that?
I've already started. It hasn't really been that hard. It's only 10 pounds, so I kind of, laid off the French fries and the cheeseburgers
Right.
and
Cardio.
the beer.
Right. Yeah, beer's a lot, but
But I do.
beer's
I
so
don't
good.
just do strongman. I still do kettlebell 3 days a week.
Right.
Also, plus strongman.
So like what I find whenever I have to cut a little bit like that, well, like 10 pounds, I could actually do that in a sauna and just lose the water weight and do it.
Yeah, see, that sucks. I don't ever want to do
But
that.
no, it does suck.
I have
But
2
it's
months
the
right
quickest.
now, and I only have about 5 pounds really
Just
left. to
jogging
cut,
does that a
so
lot. Like
I just, like I said, it's the cheeseburgers and the French fries.
yeah,
and-
that well, yeah, cutting back on your diet, like eating
yeah,
right.
I
That
just
is a
if
big
I just
thing.
eat right, I'll be fine.
Yeah,
I've
you
really
will.
enjoyed the off time though. There've been
Yeah,
lots of greasy food, lots of it.
we could come up with a name for it,
It's amazing.
like the name of the season. It's chow down. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's been awesome. But so
It
now
it's always fun when you can just let go, but
it's
you
been
can't let it go
it's
too far.
great, and of course, like I said, like as a woman, it's like you want me to gain weight and just eat what I want and be fat, and it was so stressful starting out, and then it just became awesome. Like, it's so awesome.
What?
Like,
How
just,
was it stressful? Like, oh, I'm
just
getting
the
fat.
thought, just the thought of somebody telling you
that you need
like
to get fat.
to gain weight, like we're gonna put on 10 pounds, and I'm like,
Oh,
what? It's winter. Wear a hoodie. That's what he said. It's winter. Wear a hoodie. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I guess that'll do. So.
so and you did this by eating French fries and
I mean,
cheeseburgers and drinking beer.
I just ate what I wanted to. I just didn't watch anything that I was eating. I mean, I
Right.
watched everything go in my mouth
but
pretty
you
much.
didn't. But it didn't. You didn't.
I'm not
cut, like,
too awful
pick.
about it. No, I'm not too. I mean, that's my weakness. Bacon cheeseburger is my weakness, so it's hard to give up on that. But
Yeah.
I still, eat decent. Like I like salad and stuff like that. I'm a rabbit.
But you gotta have a good
too.
cheeseburger every now and then,
Right?
like,
Exactly.
yeah.
I gotta find the best cheeseburger in town. It's pretty much all it's about. So it's a big deal. I love food. I always have. That's why I like strongman so much. You'll never see me do fitness modeling. It's not in my future.
Right. So, yeah, you get it. Do all that. You put on that weight, and then you just turn that into strength. Basically, is
Pretty
what
much.
you're gonna do.
Yeah, just turn it around. Just lift
Right.
as much as I can. I usually do squat and overhead press are the main things that I train constantly because that's all your strength, legs, core, upper body. There's no strongman event that only uses your arms. There's no bench press. I'm not going to lay down ever and just use my upper body strength. I'm going to do clean and press, and obviously there's a lot of legs involved with getting that pushed up over your head.
Right.
So,
Right.
but we do full depth squats, no box squats, to the floor as far as you can go down and back up. And then my overhead press training, I train, just the regular bar, axle bar, and log bar.
So how do you like when you rep out or whatever? Do you do like 8 to 10 reps or 6 reps or?
Well, the way we do it is at the beginning of each month we do a 5-rep max. That's how we max out, not 1, 5. So we started to wait. I get up to whatever my 5-rep max is. Like tonight, for instance, like I did deadlift and I got up to whatever my 5-rep max is. And then come next week when I deadlift, we will start at a percentage of what my max was, and I'll work up from there every week. And it'll only take me probably 1 week to go past whatever that 5-rep max is, but I'll do 7 sets of 2. That's how we train on everything.
7 sets of 2.
7 sets of 2.
Okay,
Because in most instances with strongman and like last man standing, you only need 1 rep. So you do 7 sets of 2.
Oh, when is your next competition again?
June 15th.
So we had a question there, sorry.
June 15th, it's at Columbus State.
Columbus State in Columbus, obviously.
Yeah, good call.
Right.
It's called the Cougar Strength Challenge.
Is it an all woman?
No, it's an all everybody. It's men and women.
Why is it called Cougar Strength Challenge?
I actually don't know where the name came from. Like I said, that may be their mascot, because I know that the proceeds go to benefit Columbus State. I'm sorry I didn't go there, so I'm not sure what their mascot is, but that may be why it's called Cougar. They
might be a cougar.
They may be the Columbus State Cougars.
You're right.
Anybody willing to verify, that's fine, but I don't know the answer. I'm just going to go there and pick up heavy stuff. That's what I do.
7 sets of 2.
7 sets of 2.
When you compete, do you do each, like say you did Atlas stone, whatever, you're lifting it up onto a pedestal.
I have 1 minute.
You do it once, right?
I have 1 minute to do. The Atlas stones that I've done have been over a bar. Atlas stone, 4 reps over a 48-inch bar. So let's go with that. I have 1 minute to pick up the Atlas stone, throw it over the 48-inch bar as many times as I can.
Okay, but all right. So training for all these events, you're obviously doing those things is good because that's what you're going to be doing. But you're going to be doing other lifts that aren't anything that you compete in, right?
When I'm training?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
And that's why you're doing
that's
the
why
7
I
sets
do, right.
of 2.
Exactly. That's why I do squat and the overhead pressing. We always do 7 sets of 2. Deadlift, we do the same thing. Like the yoke, obviously, I just carry it up and back. And then when I do train Atlas stones, because that's not something you just go in and do. It's serious
Right.
form.
Well, you want to have a feel of what you're using.
It is definitely, it's serious form that goes in the Atlas stone. And my goal when I'm training the Atlas stones pretty much is just to get it up once and over, because I'm doing other stuff while I'm in the gym too. And it's, it's just part of what I'm doing. So
Right.
I get up and over one time while I'm doing overhead press or something else.
If you're doing 7 sets of 2 of whatever it may be, how much rest time do you have between?
2 minutes.
2 minutes rest between the 7 sets of 2?
I do 2 reps. I rest 2 minutes. I do 2 reps. I rest 2 minutes.
All right, because like strongman to me seems like you have to have strength, but it seems like there's some kind of cardio involved, like some kind of endurance.
There is when you go to
it.
competition, but if I'm wearing myself out in the gym, like I'll do a lot of specific to what I'm going to do when it gets there, but most of the cardio and the high reps is adrenaline. If I know I can do the weight,
right,
then that's not the problem.
So you're doing the 2 reps. How close to your max is that? Is it like 50%?
Well, I'm starting. Remember, I'm maxing at the beginning of the month. I'm doing my 5-rep max, and then I'm dropping down a percentage of that. And usually by the second week, I'm already at my max or I'm past it.
What's an example of the something you would do 7 sets of 2 reps?
I would do like axle clean and press. I'm gonna do 7 sets of 2.
Okay.
And when we do the overhead press with the axle, we don't usually train the cleaning part. We just are doing, it's just for strength. So I'm just doing the pressing part until I get closer to competition. And then of course I'm working on my clean and my form and stuff like that with the weight also. but like I would max out on the axle press and then go back from there. And I would start at a certain percentage of whatever it was one week, next week jump up. And it's all in percentages. Some people do it in weights, but Ryan's a mad scientist. And so he kind of has down exactly what the percentages are that we need to do of each weight each time type of thing. And that's his thing. And people come up to me all the time. They're like, "Oh, what's your deadlift max?"
I
Or
don't
what's
know.
this?
Ask my scientist.
I know, and I'm like, I can't tell you, you know. And I usually don't even ask him when we're in the gym, like, what weight was that?
You just do it.
No, I do what I'm told. If I can lift it, I can lift. If I can lift it, and I feel like it was really heavy, sometimes I'll be like, how much was that? You know, and
It puts the lotion on its skin.
exactly
It does what it's told.
I do. And you know, because that's my job when I'm in. I do what he tells me to do, and I lift what he tells me to lift, and hopefully I can. And you know, sometimes I fail. Like you know, I always fail. I did 5 rep max tonight, and then I jumped up 20 pounds, and I did 1.
But
And then
it's
I went
good.
back down a little bit, and I did 3, and I'm like, oh,
You
okay.
fail in the gym so you can succeed in competition.
Exactly. Failing in the gym is a good thing as long as you're always making gains.
And that's the thing with like I get a lot of guys that come in and they don't want to tap out because you know their ego and this and that, and then they end up getting hurt or something
right.
like that.
That's
But like
you've got to. You can't
they don't
do that.
realize that that's how you're learning. Or you can hold me in a choke. You think you're choking me, but you're not. And we sat here the whole round.
Right.
We didn't gain anything from you trying to choke me and me sitting here defending. Like, you know, just or you
That's
could
the way it
say,
goes.
yeah, it was hurting, but it wasn't enough to tap you. Or you could just tap out and just
Right.
go on.
Right.
and learn.
Exactly. I just. I mean, I've made huge gains in not even a year. I think my first back squat was 75 pounds.
Really?
Yes, 75 pounds.
Wow.
Yep, that was it.
What is it now?
75 pounds. Probably somewhere in the 160s, 175, somewhere like that. So 100 pounds.
What's your deadlift?
Tonight, my 5 rep max was 255. My 1 rep max was 275.
That's really good.
It's
You
decent
can
at my
deadlift
weight.
more than you can squat?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I never could.
Really?
I could not deadlift more than I could squat.
Well, I mean, I don't find it to be, but you've always deadlifted off the floor too. And
Right, that's-
tonight I deadlifted at 18 inches. Now when it drops down, and what we'll do is I'll deadlift at 18 inches 1 month, 16, 4, we'll drop down to lower and lower. And of course, then my max will get a little bit lower, but never under 200 pounds.
But your max at 18 will go up.
Oh yeah,
will
because
go
and then
up.
when we come, yeah, and then of course when we come back to 18, it'll feel like nothing because at 18 inches the bars are like right below my knees because I'm
Right.
short, so I don't have to move very far when we do it like that.
That's your
But I'm
that's your
working-
lift.
Power there. Oh, and you're back.
My bad, everybody.
He gets excited.
It was
We're talking.
only-
We talk about lifting enough. He gets super excited.
It's like lifting, maxing,
I know.
repping.
We're probably gonna have to work out after this. I can see it now.
Yes.
Oh goodness.
No, I totally unplugged the thing. My feet were going
I
crazy.
know,
and I was
you're
like,
so excited.
oh.
I've never seen somebody so excited about lifting. No, I get super excited. But yeah, right now my squat goal is 200 pounds, and I'm fairly close to that, so that's not going to be.
But you're only 140
issue.
pounds,
yeah,
so that's a good squat. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not a power lifter, so I'm not going to squat in competition.
When I was a sophomore in high school, I did
And you weighed
powerlifting.
140 pounds.
No, I weighed 115 pounds as a sophomore, and
And how
I
much you weigh now?
squatted 305 pounds.
Wow, that's impressive.
And but I only
You-
deadlifted
you
265.
full depth squatted, or you squatted to parallel, which is my guess.
parallel.
Yeah,
Parallel.
I could squat to parallel too.
Okay, what I don't get that. You guys are gonna squat full, but you're gonna deadlift 18 inches.
Squat isn't an event. Squat's just a training mechanism. I'm just
Okay.
trying to make my legs as strong as possible so I can.
So full squat is well, yeah. I mean,
You're
I
not.
guess it
I'm not
would be.
squatting in competition. You as a powerlifter are squatting as your competition. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm just squatting for strength. So the lower I'm going,
Right.
the more muscles I'm using, the more I'm doing.
Well, I mean, if you were squatting for competition, going deeper would be better, anyways, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean,
Wouldn't it like build a little more?
well, you would. Yeah, I mean, I would think so, but you don't have to. And of course, for the power lifters, they're trying so hard just to. I mean, they're doing a lot of weight, a ton of weight, so they don't want to go lower than parallel. Would you want to with 500 pounds on your back? I wouldn't.
No. Somebody thinks deadlifting is easier.
Then squatting? Deadlifting
Uh,
is easier than what?
Squatting.
Making pie?
Yeah,
I mean,
squatting. Deadlifting is easier than squatting. And yes, we need a tech person. If you weren't tuned in earlier, we need a tech person. Like we need a guy
you get water.
that does sound, that gets water. That you
No, he gets water.
yeah,
He doesn't
you
get water for you.
You get free water, but you
You don't
also
get water.
might need to get water for us. And you can do the Google searching. That's what we need. We need a Google searcher to find out if deadlifting's easier than squatting.
I don't.
Parallel.
I don't think that you should check Google for that. I think if you think it's easier, you should just go out and do it.
Okay, do you think you could
Personally.
deadlift more from the ground up or squat parallel?
Probably squat
Okay, so that's where I
from
was
the
at.
ground. It would be a lot harder.
So I did 305 squatting. I did 265 deadlift, and I think it was like 145 bench. I was 115 pounds,
Well, there you go then.
and I got third in the state.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Go you!
I was a little
Just a little
skin and bone muscle.
skin and bone and muscle.
I don't know.
A human.
But I did, after that year, I did that powerlifting, and I played football the next year. Within 8 months, I was 145.
Oh yeah.
Like that was like
Football packs it on. That's their goal.
basically that's what they're doing. The powerlifting was the football off season. Like they want you packing it
That's
on.
cool though.
And then when you come back this season, then we do like lower weights, more reps and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I did it and I got third in state. My sister actually, when we lived in Kansas when we were kids, she won state in
Seriously?
powerlifting. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was she lightweight?
I don't know what their
Or
weights were.
they're
I really
all-
don't
they
know.
have closer-
Yeah, powerlifting is like
They're
probably
within
10 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's like wrestling
Yeah.
or something like that. I used to know a bunch of people that power lift, so I think they're a
It's
lot
like
closer
that.
together.
Yeah, she did. Oh, we were talking about bacon cheeseburgers and stuff. I figured you might have a little bit of a venison burger
Oh yeah,
in
I
your
mean,
freezer. Don't you have any
a
in your
little.
freezer?
there's a little bit of deer in my freezer, just a little.
Is that an understatement?
Yeah, well, I mean, between my dad and I mean, and whoever else kills deer, it's easy to get a lot of deer meat in the freezer. So not quite as much this year. We didn't have as great of a season as we'd liked, but it's okay. I mean, we just go out and have fun, and we like to hunt. So
But you use a bow, right?
yeah, I use a bow, a compound bow.
So that's a little more difficult. Like it's not as
little,
easy as
I
going
mean-
out and shooting and
A little. It
Yeah.
is. It's a little more difficult. There's no scopes or anything like that,
Well,
and
yeah,
you have
but
to be
you-
within like
so
so close. I mean,
30 yards at tops, maybe.
no, 60. You could shoot at 60 yards, but if that just depends on if you're in a clearing, then you
Right,
can shoot at
right.
60
If you're in
yards.
the
but
woods-
but if you're in like deep dark woods, 15 yards might be.
Like they need to walk under you.
I've had it happen many a time. So yeah, you never know how close you're gonna have to be.
So you
but,
must have many of deer in your.
There's
Oh no!
decent. There's a decent amount. I mean, there's always deer meat.
But it doesn't matter,
We
like-
always have deer meat.
When you're in a stand and a deer walks up on you, you've shot your damn target a million times and hit the bullseye.
Oh, you're shaking like crazy.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No,
thing.
but it's
not.
exciting. It's so.
It
I
is.
love it.
Like you just see
Absolutely.
one and it's like,
and
oh,
that's why I like to
it's
bow
happening.
hunt, because I'm all about that primitive.
It's more
style.
rewarding.
That's why I like to lift like I do. I love the primitive style. I want to pick up stones and
Right, right.
logs and flip tires. I love everything about that type of style of things. So hunting with a bow is just that much better.
yeah, it's way more rewarding.
Well, I mean, people will definitely tell you you're wrong. You'll have both sides. Some people are avid about gun hunting, and some people are avid about bow hunting. It's
I
just,
mean,
it
I'll
just
do
depends.
both. I haven't bow hunted in a while. I've gun hunted more recently than bow hunting, but
Mm-hmm.
bow hunting you feel more.
I
in
feel more
tune with
accomplished.
nature
I'm like
and,
Robin Hood out there with an arrow.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I said, you obviously have to be closer. You have a sight, but I mean, you don't have a scope or anything like that, and a bullet travels so much
Yeah,
faster, so much
you
more
could
accurate than an arrow.
you let go of your bow, and a deer can hear it and run
Oh
before the
yeah.
arrow hits.
I mean, you'll never ever see. I mean, if you ever watch the Outdoor Channel or anything, like that, you'll never see a deer stand completely still while an arrow's fired. You'll always see it
They,
flinch because obviously they hear it not even a second
but a
before it hits
gun would
them.
have already been there
Oh yeah, I mean
before they
it's gonna
flinch,
be.
pretty
I mean
much.
it's gonna happen. There's always they'll always flinch, but I mean you have a better chance obviously of catching them not moving with a gun. It's a lot faster.
Right.
So.
But yeah, but there's a lot more time involved in bow hunting.
Um,
There
Not
is.
always. It just depends. I mean, if you're just out there sitting in the woods waiting on deer, it's not like they RSVP'd. They're coming when they come. So you're just
Right.
sitting there. I think as far as the time you invest is in your practice, obviously, because once you sight in your gun and your scope or whatever you're using is set, you pretty much are good to go. And I mean, with my bow, I'm constantly target practicing just to keep up my form
Well,
and
stuff
to
can
make
shake
sure.
loose really easy on them.
Right, you're always doing that, and that's the other thing that strength training has helped me. It's helped me hunting immensely.
Form
I'm so much
is
stronger.
with a bow is tremendous. Like, you have to be on. And and drawing back and holding.
My draw weight is a lot higher now ever since I started training.
And then to hold it, if you're waiting, like you got the
That's
bead
the
on, and then
worst, yep.
they go behind a tree. Oh, now you got to wait because you don't want to let go because it'll pull you and you'll make too
Right.
much movement.
Exactly.
And you're like waiting. Then now the lactic acid is building in.
It is. It's the worst. I always tell people how much that the strength training has helped me as a hunter. It really has, and I try to be an advocate for hunters also, like get in the gym, work out, do something. You're hiking, some people hike 20 yards into the woods, some people hike miles into the woods with all your stuff on you and whatever you're hunting with, and you're climbing trees and things like that. And I mean, stay in shape, get in shape, and for me it's definitely helped me getting through the woods. And like I said, it's up my draw weight like 15 pounds. So
well, and being in
awesome.
shape, oh my God, I wish I knew a percentage right now, but there are so many men and probably women that die each year because they don't work out. They go out opening day, shoot a deer, and think they're going to drag it a mile and a half out of the woods, and they have a heart attack and die.
It happens.
Or even not even a mile and a half, but
Right.
it doesn't matter. If it's
Yep.
a quarter mile, an eighth of a mile, that's too much for them, and they have heart attacks because they're not out there in shape.
Yep.
And it's too much for them.
It's scary. I'm always, it's usually my dad and I when we go out there and hunt and things like that. And I mean, he's in good shape. He's a grown man. So, but I mean, he's not in as good a shape as I am, but also he's a lot bigger than me. He's definitely going to drag deer out of the woods. I'm not going to do it. So,
Right. And always use your harness in the tree stand.
always. I was so crazy about that.
I always would. And I would always catch myself. Like, I never actually had to rely on it.
No.
But there was a
well,
couple
that's
times
good.
I lost balance. And like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't have to rely on it, but I was like, man, that could have been it. Like, if I didn't have this harness on and I went over, it could have been just like that. And it would have been, and I could have been seriously injured or
Never.
killed.
Never hunt without a hunter safety system. That's what they
Right.
say. I
You
can't.
need
Why
that.
would you climb up in a tree without it? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, you're standing on like a 2 foot by 2 foot platform.
And where you're going to go so quickly, you don't want to take the time to take your harness off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like I put mine on literally like my part. We actually have ours set up to where because all of our tree stands are permanently set to where they're going to go, and so we already have the hooks set up in the trees. So I always put mine on before I even go into the woods. I just clip it all together, and then when I get up there, I just hook myself in and I'm done.
Right.
So not everybody has that luxury. Lots of people travel around and hunt different places, and so they kind of have to rig one up when they get there. But I'm spoiled, and so Dad has them all set up for me on the farm, so I don't have to worry about it.
I would always use a self climber, and then I'd have to shimmy up with it.
I can't imagine doing it like that.
Packing it into the
I'm
woods.
totally spoiled. Our the stands are nice, and the ladders are all set up. And
You got a little
we've even got like
electricity and a
the
heater.
ropes. We got ropes hanging out of the tree with the climbing things on, so I can clip my bow to it at the bottom and climb up.
Right,
and
and
then,
you pull it
and then
up,
pull my
'cause
bow
that's how
up
you
with
do
me.
it
Right,
safely.
exactly. So and some people just haul in there with it on their back, and it's it's so scary.
But there are so many that die a year of that.
I don't know, people have
I'm just
fallen out of
falling
tree
out.
stands. Yep, it happens all the time.
Do you ever
Definitely.
do you gun hunt at all?
Muzzleloader season. Sometimes it just depends. It depends on how cold it is outside and how tired I am at 4 a.m. But I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause
I've hunted with muzzleloader before. I've killed with muzzleloader
but not a
before. So
shotgun.
no, I've shot shotguns before, but I've never hunted with one. So
I use a pistol
okay,
to I so much better for gun season. I have a 480 Ruger,
okay,
which is like the second largest handgun I think they make. The 500 Smith and Wesson's the largest, or a Desert Eagle 50 cal or whatever. But 50 cal I think is the largest handgun. But it's 15 and a half inches long. It has a 9.5 inch barrel. So it'll get out there,
yeah,
and it's big. It's as big as like a 410 would be probably.
it's
But you
scary.
get 6 shots instead of the 3 with your pistol or your
You're
shotgun.
not hitting it with the first shot.
No, well, sometimes you gotta you gotta lay some lead. But the thing I like the most about it is when you're hunting, like for opening day, gunshots go off, deer bed down in
Oh yeah.
briars and thick
Before
stuff.
that, people are out there shooting around practicing. I'm like, stop! You're just
Right.
scaring them away.
Well, you have to go down in that thick stuff if you want to see some deer.
Yep.
So carrying a shotgun through briars sucks. Like it's so wide, you're tangled up, whatever. Like the pistol goes right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking through, moving briars with my hands. Oh, I see a deer. Boom, and it's.
Is that even legal?
That is legal
Okay.
because the barrel is
Long enough, right?
6.5 inches or longer, or
Okay.
something like that.
Never
Right.
known anybody to walk out there Western cowboy style and just
Oh, it's the best.
put a deer
That-
down. This is something I'm going to have to see.
It's way better than and because here's the way I do it. I like bow hunting, and then you only get that week to gun hunt, and
right.
like
and then you get the weekend.
and I haven't been doing as
and the
much
muzzleloader.
right. I haven't been doing as much hunting the last couple of years as I like. And but anyways,
It's hard. It's cold.
yeah,
It's cold and it's early.
Actually, it hasn't been that cold
No.
lately. Like
It
I
is-
remember one year I was in a t-shirt gun hunting.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Here, not in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. It was just 4 years ago at the
Oh,
tops.
okay.
3, 4
Well, it
years
is
ago.
Ohio, so I guess it's always possible.
Yeah.
So, I've seen tons of snow during bow season, so it happens. And that you talking about the noise and the deer bedding down, that's the other reason I like to bow hunt so much because it's so much
Right.
quieter.
Right, it's more peaceful. But they bed down, so you got to go in. You're going to have to jump them if you want to see a deer after the opening day because first day they're running
Yeah, well,
kind
for
of crazy.
gun hunters, yeah, you guys,
And that's why I kind of like that pistol. It's more convenient. I'm going to walk through thick stuff to jump because I don't sit and wait. Not for a gun. I don't sit and wait in a tree stand. First, in the morning I will, but then I start walking
Yeah.
because deer sleep in the day. You're going to have to jump them.
right.
For the most part, if they're not getting jumped by other hunters, but they're hearing all this noise and they're laying down.
Yep, they're scared.
So I'm gonna throw rocks into like brush piles and jump
You're
them
the
out.
craziest hunter ever.
I'm like, what? That's what you gotta do.
That's just nuts. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
What would you do? I mean, they're bedding down. There's gunshots everywhere. You can't sit and wait, right?
True. I mean, I guess not. Like, I don't ever.
And then it
hunt.
makes it more action because you're walking. You're not just sitting.
Do you ever hunt
like-
with people? Do you have them drive and wait?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never done it. I don't, like I said, with the bow, you obviously just never, I don't usually drive deer, just kind of hang out. Plus we have, cameras set up all year round, watching their movement and where they're coming through and the times, and it's a science.
I almost got ran over by a deer on a drive once. Like the guys drove him
Of
towards
course you
me,
did.
and I heard
That's
something.
when you're supposed to kill them, actually, when they're coming towards you.
Well, I shot it, but I didn't kill it. Like I shot in the
just made
butt.
it mad.
Yeah, I shot in the butt because I heard something and like all of a sudden it was like right on me. Like I mean, it just came over this thing and around a tree, boom, and I was like,
That's crazy.
just started shooting and it bled, but it didn't die. Oh, it was bad, but
Oh, that's so sad.
yeah, I mean, I don't like to do that. I don't want to not.
Oh, I'm sure I've
know.
injured a deer with an arrow here and there and
It happens.
not found it, maybe. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I missed altogether, which is what I'm usually hopeful for. I just suck and I miss.
I believe it was that same day I was with my friends doing a drive that these other guys were doing a drive. Like we were driving this way down a valley and they were like coming this way or something. Well, these guys run up on us.
scary.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, did you see anything? It was in public hunting ground. So, I mean, you're going to see
I don't
people.
ever do that. That's just scary to me.
Well, this guy is like, oh, yeah, we're doing a drive over here or whatever. And then he's just like, he holds his ear like this, like, okay, we'll be right there. Like, oh, they were using freaking radios. He had radios like, red team go, red team go. We're
Is
going
this Mama
like,
Hen?
yeah,
That's so
that's
funny.
illegal. That is illegal right
You're
there.
not allowed to talk to people? Why not?
No,
You have a
you-
cell phone.
You can't. You can have a cell phone, but it's only for emergencies when you're hunting.
Can walkie talk? Really?
No walkie-talkies. That's illegal.
I use my cell phone to Facebook when I'm hunting.
When you're bored, and then
Oh,
those deers
yeah.
walk by and like deers.
Actually, I read deers. I heard it and I wasn't gonna correct you. I just
Yeah,
I was so
deers.
funny. The plural of deer.
Of the plural.
The
of the
plural of the plural of deers. There were several deers. And no, I read a lot when I'm in the tree stand. When I'm just like waiting on noise and things like that. So, but yeah, that's what my phone's for.
I
And
used
to talk to my dad. I mean, he's in another stand somewhere else. Have you seen anything? Saw a squirrel. Thinking about shooting it. Like that kind.
I used to go bow hunting to get away.
I love it.
Like it was just if I didn't see a deer, I didn't care. I was just out there in nature by myself, just with my own thoughts
Yep.
and chilling.
If you're not a hunter, I feel like that you don't understand that, because I always would tell people like the best thing in the world is getting into the woods really early in the morning when it's dark, and then getting to watch the woods wake up around you.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
getting to be.
you went out in the cold all day and you didn't even see anything. You're stupid.
Yeah, I get.
You're
all
crazy.
Like, why would you do that? And I'm like, no, like just the sound, like just listening to the woods around you. Like
I'm not gonna
wake
lie.
up.
I'm kind of scared sometimes when I walk into the woods.
You know what's funny? I am never afraid in the morning going in, always at night coming out. And I don't know why. I have no
Not
idea why that
me.
is. But the morning is fine. Like I can walk into, and I usually don't have to walk into the woods alone. I usually hunt with my dad. But if I do, if he's working or something and I go alone, I like going in the morning. And I don't know, maybe because it's going to get light that I'm not afraid of doing it. And at night, like it's just getting darker. Boogeyman type thing. Nope, there's no
Right.
boogeyman in the morning. It's
What
always
I'm
at
thinking,
night.
the boogeyman's still up in
yeah,
the morning.
see, I know, and I'm gonna try not to think like that. Please stop talking about it if you could.
He hasn't gone to sleep yet. The sun's still not up.
I never. But at night, I do. I get.
That's when you get the creepy. It
I
is
don't
a
know
creepy
why.
feeling. It's dark,
I'm not afraid going in. I'm always afraid coming out.
but it's dark, and because if you're thinking about it or not, you might subconsciously be thinking, now the creatures are coming out. Like they're waking up, or it's time for them to be out.
I mean, that's why you
or-
get your concealed carry, and you make sure you carry.
Right,
I
that's
mean, if you're
what-
bow hunting, you make sure you have something else on you just in
Right.
case. So.
Always have a knife for sure, a big knife. Well, you got to gut a deer anyways if you're gonna get it.
That's true.
Should be
Yeah, just
prepared.
try to carry something with you. I mean, I know lots of hunters that pack when
But
they're
they do allow you
hunting.
now to carry a.
Well, if you have a
gun.
concealed carry, then you can carry a gun in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And I mean, you don't know coyotes and stuff like that out there. You don't know what you're gonna come up on when.
I mean, possibly even a bear in this area, cougar.
Yeah, I'm sure you come up on
That
something.
stuff's
I mean,
around.
I usually see cows, but I've never had an issue. I saw a cat once.
Out in the woods.
Just like a regular farm cat, and of course, any noise you hear is a deer when you're hunting. Everything. It doesn't matter what
have
it
you
was.
ever heard?
It's a deer.
Yeah. Have you ever heard a deer and then? No, it's just a little squirrel.
Always. It's always. You know how many
It's just a
squirrels I've
squirrel.
threatened to kill, or chipmunks?
Yeah.
I swear, they're just up. I mean, they're like 50-pound squirrels coming through the woods.
Well, you
hear
have-
that noise and that rustling.
Yeah. And it sounds like,
And it's
oh
all
my
over.
god,
Oh, it gets
it's
you
getting
every
closer.
time.
It's getting closer.
I mean, you could wait
now I hear one over there.
20 minutes. 20 minutes you're sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like, bloop.
Yeah, and then like you
You're
haven't
like, all
seen
right,
anything all
Theodore,
day.
what are you doing?
You haven't seen anything all day, and then you're just like, you know what? I'm gonna try this squirrel out. I'm gonna shoot it.
I know lots of people that do that all the time.
I'm tired of not seeing
I
anything.
always-
I'm shooting a squirrel.
I always text Dad, Alvin's about to get it. Like, there's chipmunks are running all over the place.
I've got some blunt tip arrowheads for small game
Uh-huh.
like that. Although I don't hunt small game. I don't
Just
hunt
your field
big
tips,
game.
just your field points.
No, they're blunt tip.
Oh,
They're
really?
just flat, so it'll knock them out or kill them. It kills them from blunt force
Never seen.
without damaging the meat. There's not a lot of meat on them.
Right, obviously, that's like 2 chicken nuggets. Like,
Yeah, so it's blunt force. Like boom, you hit them hard with. It's just a flat. It's
That's
a
crazy.
field tip filed flat, basically. So it's
I don't think I've ever seen one or paid attention if I have seen one. That's insane.
they make them.
just
It's for
knocks 'em
small game.
out.
It's for small game. That's what
It
it's
just
for.
breaks all their ribs. It's no big deal.
I can't believe those guys that they bird hunt with
Oh,
bows.
my goal right now is to hunt geese, Canadian geese with my bow. There these guys, Heartland bow hunter guys. They have a show, Michael Hunsucker and Sean Lutchell, and they always, one of their episodes, hunt geese with their bows. But they set up like 100 decoys out on like, frozen pond or out in a field
To get
to get them to come in.
Wow.
They like hang a sheet across two trees, dark or light depending on the weather, and then they just sit behind it and wait on them to land. And I mean, obviously you buy a bunch of cheap arrows if you're going to do something like this because you're never getting those back unless they obviously
Yeah.
go into the geese. But
Right.
you just fired that thing like 4 feet into the dirt.
But most
So-
likely it'll go through them, and then
Yeah, exactly. But it's hilarious, and I love it. I've wanted to do it forever. I want to kill geese with
do
my
they
bow.
can't? Isn't it illegal? It's illegal to shoot them if they're on the water, though, right?
They're not usually on the water.
But
think
if
there's
they're
like
flying in to land, right? But you can't shoot them when they're sitting.
I don't know.
I think
Is that just inhumane or something? I don't know much about it.
no. I think it's the same with ducks.
Oh, well, I
Like
guess.
they have
Just-
to be in the air. Maybe all birds.
Well, these can be on the ground. I mean, I've seen that like walking around with the decoys and they'll shoot the geese and stuff like that. Never on water, just on like in a field or whatever. But they show it on TV, so I assume it's legal.
Okay, yeah, it must be. I don't
Maybe
know.
like
I just
maybe
thought they had to be
other
flying.
like pheasant and stuff like that.
That's
maybe
what I'm wondering.
I've never pheasant hunted. My dad did it once. He actually has one, a
I
stuffed
used
one
to-
at our house. It's pretty cool. He's
That's fun.
had it for a long time, but I've never done it. I've never hunted any birds.
When I was a kid, I grew up in Kansas, and everything's my dad and uncles all pheasant hunted, but every Thanksgiving we wouldn't have turkey, we
You'd
would
have pheasant? Cornish
and my
game
dad and
hen.
uncles would go out on that morning and go pheasant hunting,
That's
get the
awesome.
turkey or the Thanksgiving dinner, and quail are good.
And I've never had that either. My dad's hunted dove and stuff like that, but I've like I said, I've never done it.
Quail
before.
is really good.
I want to
And
kill turkey this year. That's my goal. Any turkey hunters out there? I don't have any. My dad doesn't turkey hunt, so I've like no one to go, and I suck at calling
are you gonna
turkeys.
use a bow?
Yes, that's my goal. My goal is to use my bow.
Do you know how hard?
Yes,
Like,
and that's what everybody says, and that's why nobody will take me.
but that's why you want to do it as well.
Yeah, exactly. I want to do it first. I'm going to kill something. I want to kill it with my bow first, always.
Right, and a turkey apparently can see their reflection in your eye from 50 yards or something like that. Like,
Their senses are ridiculous. They're also really dumb though. So you gotta. I
right,
mean,
right. I was in a tree stand one time deer hunting, and then all of a sudden would it be a flock of turkeys or
sure.
a herd? I don't know.
I don't think it's a herd.
A group, whatever. A few turkeys came walking up.
A gaggle.
It could be maybe a murder, like crows.
I can't come up with any more. I'm trying to think of them. Anyways, a bunch of turkeys.
Yeah, they're walking up, and I'm like, it was one of those days, no deer, a bunch of squirrels running around. I'm like, man, and I know it was really illegal, but I was gonna shoot a
You're
turkey.
not the only one that's ever done it. There are people all over.
and I was
just
like-
because it's annoying. They're so annoying.
And you know what those things did? I thought, all right, I'm gonna move and be ready, and I moved really slow and all this. They saw me. They stayed right out of range and went right around me. They were walking right to me, but as soon as I moved, they were onto me, and they went right around.
I usually see them in the field when we're in the ground blind, so they can't see you at all. But they're like dodo birds walking around. They're just retarded looking the whole time. And I just
Right.
watch them.
You think they're
nuts.
stupid? They can see really well, but they're not that bright.
Oh yeah, I think they're dumb. I mean, did you watch them long enough? I mean, literally, they're like they look like dodo birds.
They
walking
look
around.
like they're dumb, but
Just-
are they?
Yeah, I guess I've never been a turkey. I don't know any personally, so I'm not sure exactly where their intelligence stands.
Right, and I
but
haven't hunted them enough to
know.
to be
Yeah, I mean, I know
outsmarted, like,
lots of
oh.
people that turkey hunt and stuff, but I've never done it, and I'm dying to do it, dying to kill a turkey. So, and I know it's coming up in like next couple weeks or whatever turkey season comes
Yeah,
in
probably.
here.
And
so.
with a bow, that's a difficult challenge.
I know.
Good luck with
I
that.
like, yeah. hey, if it's not easy, I won't do it. There you go. It's got to be hard, definitely.
Right on. All right. Well, we are going to wrap this podcast up, I believe. We've been an hour and a half after all the crap that went on before
No.
the third start.
Just, reiterate on needing that tech guy.
Right. Yeah. A tech guy, please. Somebody that knows stuff about
And has nothing
the
else
Google
to
machine.
do with their time.
And you like water. You're going to get free water.
It will advance you to something else.
And you're going to
later.
play with gadgets and,
we'll give you stuff
and
to
Google
do.
search. Yeah.
It sounds fabulous.
And you're going to hang out.
I
It's
might
like-
take that job.
We could have a few
Just
people
be a party
in
all
here.
the time. All the time.
People can be hanging out here and giving an input. It's fine. But the main thing you're going to do is what are you going to do?
I'm going to sing at the Sugar Shack on April 27th.
Right
You'll
there.
catch me, lead singer of the Weejuns.
At OUC.
At OUC in the gymnasium. Yep. And then I'm going to do my next strawman competition June the 15th at Columbus State.
Right. And what is
Yeah.
this date? The 16th. All right. So our next show will be the
Tuesday.
20th. No, it will be April 20th.
Oh,
I failed to mention that the whole time. Blue Wall Podcast is broadcasting live from Gibby's
Oh,
April
yeah.
20th for the Stand Up to Cystic Fibrosis.
That was the whole point.
Right, yeah.
I mean, in the
Stand-up
cystic fibrosis
comedians,
things.
Ace Allen and Michael Moore. And we're going to be broadcasting live. So you're going to see those. If you can't make it, you can log on, go to Ustream, or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Blue Wall Podcast.
Wow, that's a lot.
And yeah, and it's right at the top. There's a link to Ustream, or you can follow us on Twitter at Blue Wall Podcast. We're going to be live there, and we're going to talk a little bit before. We're going to put the cameras on the show, let that happen, and we might talk and close out or whatever, but the people that can't make it can actually watch. And then if you do, it would be nice if you went to cff.org/great_strides. And you can donate to cystic fibrosis. I had to look and make sure I said
You
that
were
right.
right.
And I
I
did,
actually
yeah.
listened and you got it right. That's awesome.
And so you'll go and donate if you can't, like, especially if you watch the show for free. Come on, people.
It's
Help
the
out.
least you can do.
Right,
There you
that
go.
is. Or if not, go to the walk May 19th at Yaktangi Park from 1 to 4.
Awesome.
And then, like we said, and then after that, we have Courtney Lewis, Paper City Company coming in Tuesday the 23rd at 9:30 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Katy, is that right, Ms.?
That's absolutely. Are you auctioning me off? That's absolutely
Ms.
100% correct. That would be
Miss
Miss.
Katy Large. And if you want to get your swole on, go to Primal Trainings.
Primal Training Studio.
Studio?
We have a Facebook page. You can look us up on Twitter at PTS4, the number, strength. Instagram, everything else. And, of course, we're starting a fitness line of clothing and things like that, too. You can find all that stuff on the website, on the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, Google+, you name it, we have it. Look
right.
us up.
Look it up, Primal Training Studios. You put that in Google and you'll find
You will
it, I'm
find
sure.
us, I promise.
And they have cool new shirts, right?
Yeah, we do.
Is that one of your?
And it's
is that one
actually,
right there?
yeah, it's actually.
Just show this camera right here your
Can
shirt.
it see me?
I think it can see you.
You don't know? That's why we need a tech
Yeah,
guy.
you can't. I mean, I can sort of tell that it sees you.
You can kind of
And
tell
then
it
what
sees
does
me.
it say?
The line of clothing, which is actually not part of our gym at all. It is just a line of clothing that has been started called Crush, Kill, Destroy. And it's just for strength enthusiasts, athletes, anyone. It's just like it's a brand. That's what it is. It's a brand. It's for anyone that wants to wear it, anyone that likes it. The only thing that the gym is doing specifically is giving it a place to be bought through, and you can purchase them through Crush, Kill, Destroy, which is linked to Primal Training Studio in that way. But it's completely separate and not affiliated to Primal Training Studio.
If you say Primal Training Studio, do you get 20% off?
No, I don't think so.
You guys should get something like that.
No, I
So
mean
you get
it's
a
part
cut.
of it's part of what its ownership is local. So, but it's just not you'll know it
Okay.
it's separate from the gym specifically.
If somebody came and said Blue Wall Podcast, can they get 10% off?
Do you want a shirt, Jeremy? Is that what you're
No,
telling
I'm
me?
just saying. I'm trying to help you guys, and I'm just trying to help Blue Wall Podcast.
Well, of course, we'll hook you up. I'll see. I'll see what I can do for you. See if I can get you a shirt somehow. I know the guy, so.
Oh, all right, that's cool.
But yeah, definitely. I think that the Crush Kill Destroy has a Facebook page. The Twitter is CK Destroy.
CK Destroy. That
Crush
sounds
and
pretty
Kill
cool.
Destroy. Yeah.
Crush and kill. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you at Gibby's April 20th at what time? I think we're starting at 6:30. Doors open at 6, but we're gonna go live at 6:30 and talk with you guys a little bit before the show starts. All right.